in the field here, soybean demonstration plot. It's Wednesday, October the 14th. Taking the soybean plot off. So behind me here, we've got the 40-foot draper coming up, taking off our 40-foot planter widths one at a time, and we'll be able to analyze some results.
Let's dive into Field Analyzer Beta a bit here and take a look at what we did on the Exeter demonstration plot this year. So right here in front of us is our corn harvest from 2019. I wanted to show this map because there was a portion of the trial where we enabled the Stockmaster on our corn header, so the chopping blades, versus a portion of the farm where we did not chop. And so we identified these areas using the flag feature on John Deere displays. So you can see we identified the transition zones of each of these passes with these flags and marked those with pictures. So I know anything to the north of that point was chopped, anything to the left of that point was not chopped. So we're able to take that into account. So coming into 2020, going back in time here, so in January, we performed our disc grip tillage here on a portion of the farm towards the north end. We then came back a little bit later on in April, on April the 6th. In the center portion of the farm, we performed disc tillage, so just the high-speed disc 2680H from John Deere. And then right before planting in the springtime, April 27th, we conducted strip tillage on the southernmost part of the field. So we had the 3 tillage treatments going on in this farm. Additionally, on those tilled areas, subtract the strip till, we performed some secondary tillage, so some cultivation in the spring before planting. So that's shown in that area there in yellow. So following cultivation on the same day, May the 26th, we planted our soybeans. So right now we're looking at the as applied rate. Let's just take a quick peek first here at the varieties. So when we look at the varieties, we had our headland treatment, but then we also had 30-inch twin rows, 30-inch rows, as well as 15-inch rows. So we planted this plot with a 1795 corn planter, where we could switch between 30s and 15s pretty easily. In order to plant the 30-inch twin rows, we actually planted the field twice, both in the same direction. So I think we were going towards the store here, planted that pass twice. In addition to the different row spacings, we also had different target rates for those different row spacings. So on the 30-inch rows, we had anywhere from, in orange here, 80,000, 100,000, as well as 120,000 seeds per acre. On our twin rows, because we planted it twice, it's only identifying half of the population here. So 50,000 is actually 100,000, 60,000 is actually 120,000 because it was planted twice. And then in the center here, we have not 70,000, but 140,000. So a little bit higher population on the twin rows versus the 30-inch. And then on our 15-inch rows, we had the highest populations, 120,000 seeds per acre, 140,000 seeds per acre, and 160,000 seeds per acre. So there is some differences there on the row treatments. So following seeding, we did do a post-application of herbicide mid-June. That was applied to the whole field. But then we also did some trials in July regarding some foliar treatments as well as fungicide. So on July the 1st, around that vegetative stage, we sprayed the back half of the plot with Relief MN, a foliar fertilizer with manganese in it. We then came back to the same back area on July the 25th or July the 15th, where we applied Fortify K to a portion of that back half, alternating passes. So we had places where we applied both, and places where we only applied the Relief MN. So this 4 to 5K is a potassium foliar fertilizer. Lastly, we also had an Allegro application here on the front where we alternated passes of fungicide without fungicide.
So let's dive into some results here first. First, let's take a look at tillage. So in this plot, we had a 2730 disc ripper through a portion, the 2680H high-speed disc through the center portion of the field, and last on the southern portion of the farm, we had the Soil Warrior unit with 2 wavy coulters as opposed to the deep cog in our spring tillage setup. So looking at tillage across the plot without taking into account any interactions, we saw a significant difference where the 2730 disc ripper out-yielded the 2680H. However, the strip tillage did not differ from the 2680H or the 2730. Soybeans were planted on May the 26th in 3 different row width configurations, 15-inch, 30-inch, and 30-inch twins. As seen in this figure, the 15-inch row widths were significantly greater yielding than the 30-inch rows. However, the 30-inch twin rows did not differ from the 15s or the 30s. On July the 15th, Allegro fungicide was applied to a portion of the plot. Comparing sprayed areas to where the fungicide was not applied, there was no difference between the 2 treatments. At V4, Relief MN was applied to the soybeans. Following that, at R1, 4 to 5K was then applied to the soybeans. The results of this trial indicated that there was no benefit to these foliar fertilizer applications. In fact, there was a lower yield on those portions of the field. In the fall of 2019, a Stockmaster corn header was used to harvest the corn. A portion of the field was chopped using the Stockmaster blades, and another portion was not chopped with the blades disabled. Now, when we look at the yield results in the soybean field, there was no significant difference between the chopped and non-chopped portions of the farm.